Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be talking about a topic that a lot of us parents are concerned about. It's are you worried most times, like you see how I see people, they say they buy a child a toy and the child is more interested in the box that the toy came in than the toy itself. Or most times you spend a lot of time trying to put up an activity for your child and your child is not interested. They want to jump and climb on the chair or the sofa or something. They want to jump on the bed or something like that. Like you want your child to do this, but they're doing the opposite of what you want them to do. Then there's this other one of most times you see other kids and they're just seated and they're doing this activity and you're like, why can't my child do this? Why? Like, why? What have I done wrong? You know? And so most times it makes some parents, they punish your child, or they try to like discipline the child, or they try, it works us up really. But I started researching about it and I just realized that there's something called schemas. Schemas is the answer, okay? And so schemas are basically like urges or needs, okay? Patterns or repeated behaviors that every child would go through in order to explore and learn about the environment. So things like a child has to do, okay? And so it typically happens between 1 to 5 years, and so kids are naturally trying to like explore, learn and understand the environment. And so most times, we'll say, oh, that child is ADHD, or that child is being stubborn, or that child is not listening to me, or they're always having meltdowns, or they're throwing a tantrum, but sometimes it's just necessarily that kids are trying to, that's all they do at this age, is trying to understand. That's all they're doing at this age, is trying to understand the environment, trying to learn, but it can be tiring for us as parents, okay? So you come back from work and this child is jumping, or you want to do something with this child and they're doing the direct opposite. Why? Can we just get this done and have nap bedtime? Okay, so like it can be tough for us parents. So most times I even say these days to myself is, I have to discipline myself, not even the child. Like, I have to learn these things so that I can effectively manage these children, okay? And so I'm going to discuss the schemas, and so then you can know what schemas your child is exhibiting. Then you can now tailor your activities to that one that your child wants to do at that point. Children can go through different schemas at different times, or even at the same time, or they can or they might not even go through all the schemas at the same time. So the schemas, and so you can say, oh, okay, this child is exhibiting a containment schema right now, or a transporting schema, or something like that. And then you can know, okay, maybe I should bring out these kind of activities for this child to do, or I should direct them in the right way, so that, okay, maybe instead of throwing things in the house, they can break their plates or something, or cups. Maybe you, instead of throwing this, can you throw this instead, or show them something else to do. So we're going to discuss the schemas now, and so let's jump right into it. So there's one called a transporting schema, and so like the name says, it's basically a child moving things, moving things from one place to the other. It's basically about movement, okay? So if you see a child pushing a stroller, for instance, maybe they try to strap their doll or a plush animal in the stroller, and they're pushing the stroller, pushing a cart, carrying things from one place to another, different thing, or carrying things at once. Then you see a child is exhibiting like the transporting schema. Maybe they put things in their pockets. They are trying to like put things in something, like, and moving one thing from one place to another. So that's like movement. So okay, maybe I can show this, maybe you can know what activities to direct that child to, okay? And so there's something called an enveloping schema. So this child is trying to cover things up. So a child going through an enveloping schema, you would see them maybe using something my kids do. They use like the bed sheets and they cover their face, or they use the pillowcase and they cover their face, and they're like peekaboo. So they're going through that phase then, right? Or they're using scarves and they're basically like trying to cover something, okay? Or you see them trying to like wrap their toys. They're trying to like wrap their toys, or trying to like cover something with another thing. Maybe they want to use paper and cover maybe their toys, or cover something else. Like that's, they're trying to envelope something basically. So that's an enveloping schema. There's also something called the containing schema or containment schema. So in this type, is like the child wants to be it's containing, it's want being a container or something. So when you buy a toy, for instance, and the child wants to use the box of the toy, maybe they're trying to like be in a big box, or they are trying to pour things, or they're trying to like sort, they're trying to fill containers with like sand. Maybe they are pouring water from one cup to the other. So they're like that, they're going through a containment phase. You know, the orientation schema. And so when you see a child hanging upside down, so they go like that, like they're like trying to do like a yoga pose, the things like under things, so they stay under the table and they're trying to like look up, or those kind of funny behaviors. They go under the bed and they're trying to look up. So it's like orientation. They're trying to change their orientation, their view of something. So they're going to an orientation schema. So there's also the trajectory schema. And in trajectory schema, like the name says, it's basically they're throwing things. So they're throwing balls, they're jumping on the bed, they're running around. They like to turn on taps and see the water run. Okay, so the child is going through a trajectory schema. And so it's normal. Like, so you know what kind of activities you want to do with a child going through a trajectory schema. There's also something called a rotation schema. Okay, so your child is interested in things that are spinning. So for instance, maybe if you spin them around, they want you to spin them around, or they want to twirl and dance. So you can see your child twirling all the time, like trying to like turn, move around, like rotate. So or they try to like play with the spinning wheels, or they're interested in wheels of cars, or even like when you know the washing machine, when it's going through the spin cycle, like your child is interested and like watching it and like so interested in it, your child is going through a rotation schema. And there's also a connection schema. Another one is connection schema. So your child is trying to fix puzzles together, trying to build blocks, trying to use the Legos to build as well. So it's like trying to put things together, and when they do, they'll also demolish it when they are done. So it's like putting things together and demolishing them. So a child at that stage is going through a connection schema. There's also a positioning schema, and this one's it's like trying to put things in order. So you see a child maybe lining up their toys in a particular way, right? Or maybe when you're putting food for your child, maybe if you put rice and beans and stew and maybe vegetables, right? And maybe you try to like lump everything together, and the child is like, they'll just have a meltdown because they don't want that. They want you to put vegetable to one side, stew to one side, rice to one side, beans to one side. They're going through a positioning schema. They want things in order in different compartments. So that's the schema a child is going through. So when you mix them together and they have a meltdown, then you're like, what is wrong with this child? So it's a phase. Or there are certain things. You see a child sorting things by color or by shape, you know. So a child at that stage is going through a positioning schema. There's also the last schema, which is called the transforming schema. And so in the transforming schema, a child is trying to transform something, right? Trying to get a new thing. So you see a child maybe trying to mix paints. So if I mix this and mix this and mix this, like what is it going to turn out to be? Or you give your child food and you just see them pouring their food into water, into their cup. It's going through a transforming schema. Or they want to cook with you in that period. So they want maybe you're making something, they want to help you and, you know, stir whatever you're cooking. A child at that stage is going through a transforming schema, and so you can know the kind of like activities, you know, maybe when you're cooking you're like, come and help me and cook, or let's bake. Sometimes Ezra will like, he wants to help me make like baked oatmeal or whatever I'm baking at that period, or even if I'm cooking, like they want to just see things transform, but they want to play dress up. He'll say, I want to dress up like Superman, I want to dress up like this, like whatever they want to dress up like, you know. So different stages, different phases. So your child is not being stubborn, your child does not have ADHD, your child is not trying to make life difficult for you, but you just have to sit down and observe that child. Then you know exactly, okay, what schema is this child going through, and what toy or what activity can I give this child so that we both can be happy, okay? Because at the end of the day, what we want is for us to be happy. Child, happy parents, right? And so these are some of the things that I wanted to share. I mean, it's something, when I came across this, I was like, wow, this is life-changing. So now it makes my life easy. I mean, sometimes it's not every time you can do it. I understand, because we are tired. We are tired parents. But I mean, knowing it and just knowing that that child is not trying to frustrate you, but only trying to explore and learn. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.